This tiny little bag holds the secret to creating a thriving native pollinator garden. Today, we're going to talk about what this is. Welcome to the Provident Gardener, friends. Today we are going to talk about cold stratification. And this has become really important to me because right in front of the greenhouse that we are building, I'm planning to plant a beautiful native pollinator garden that will attract beneficial insects and pollinators into my greenhouse. So in front of the greenhouse, we have these little metal screens that have holes in them that are large enough to allow the pollinators in, but not the mice. And that's really important. The seeds that I'm using today are all from this amazing native habitat heirloom collection from Survival Garden Seeds. It costs about $35. We have a coupon code for it where you can save 10%, but there's a lot of seeds in here for that price. And a lot of them are seeds that you don't normally find. We've got like coneflowers and native grasses and all kinds of beautiful pollinators that will attract pollinators throughout the growing season, which is really important. But one of the things about natural pollinators is a lot of them need to be cold stratified. So I went through all of the seeds, and this actually took me a while, but I created my little native habitat book with all my notes and instructions and my research, because I think it's really important to have a reference so that I know what I'm doing, because there are 24 different seeds. There's a lot of different seeds to remember their height, you know, and all kinds of different things and what they attract. So I did a lot of work there, but one of the other things that I did is I arranged them all into when they should be planted, how long they needed to be cold stratified. Like this package right here. This one is from early January, 1st through the 7th, so late February. It takes a 60-day stratification. Some of the seeds that I had needed a 30-day stratification. Some of them actually needed a 90 to 120 day. That was a long cold period. So cold stratification, what is it? It mimics the natural winter. Without cold stratification, they're not going to prematurely germinate and die out in the wild. But there's two things that you need for cold stratification, and that's both cold and moisture. So if you just put a seed packet in the fridge or the freezer and leave it there, you're not cold stratifying it because it needs the moisture. So what it does is it will break dormancy for the seeds. It'll soften the seed coat and it triggers a hormone that will promote growth. Without it, it's not going to have germination, or you may have uneven germination. So this is really important. And the refrigerator makes it so easy. And why is the refrigerator a good way to do it? Because it's a constant 34 to 40 degrees. And you have controlled moisture. There's no freeze thaw damage that can occur with the seeds. So realistically, I could have taken these seeds and just scattered them all over and let Mother Nature do her work. But I really want to make sure that I'm not wasting my seeds, and I want them planted where I want in the right amounts. And so I'm making my own little starts. Now, I love these seed packets. On the back of the seed packet, it has all the information that I need to remember, but I love the pictures. And so when I'm looking through these, I've still got my picture. Each one of these little Ziploc bags, they're all labeled, right? This is New England aster, and I planted on December 3rd, 2025. I took a paper towel and I got it wet, and then I wrung it out as tightly as I can, because you don't want extra moisture. I know some people use a little sprayer and do it, but I found this more effective, because once that paper towel is damp and it's not too damp, it is just the right amount of moisture. And then I just sprinkled my seeds on here and very carefully slid it back into this package. So the seeds aren't really touching each other, and the cold, so far these haven't sprouted. I'm seeing that some of them have just a little bit of mold on them. If your seeds start to sprout in here, then it means it's time to plant them. And for these, because I'm starting them in my greenhouse, some of these it's actually time for me to start out. So I wouldn't put this in with my seeds because it'll ruin it, but all of these go into this same bag so that I can keep them organized. And organizing is really important when it comes to this. But look at all these seeds. I have literally thousands of seeds in here because remember I went through and I did my research. There are some things that don't need cold stratification, like the black-eyed Susan. And so I've made my notes on my bag, and that won't be being cold stratified. It's just kept right over here in my little binder till it's time to plant. But all through this spring, I'm going to be planting this crazy, beautiful native garden. Now, this is a gift that I received from Blake and Cheryl. Thank you very much. This is a leafcutter bee habitat. And leaf cutters are a great pollinator. And if you give them a home, they will come. In fact, if you check out this video, you will see Blake and Cheryl's garden and how they have made these and positioned them appropriately. Don't let seed stratification scare you. It is so simple. This is so much cheaper than buying plants at the nursery. And actually, it's a lot of fun bonding with my little seeds and my little packets. For me, I keep these in the meat and cheese drawer in my refrigerator. And there's just all kinds of different beautiful plants. And pretty soon, they'll be attracting pollinators into this fabulous greenhouse that we're building, providing food for our family and just incredible joy to watch them. I can't wait to just be able to sit out there and watch what happens in my little pollinator garden. It's not too late to get busy and cold stratify some seeds to plant in the spring if you need to do that. I'd love to hear about what you are planting in your garden so that you can attract the beneficial insects, not only to increase your pollination, but the beauty in the garden and the diversity and the balance of nature. It is a beautiful thing. So make sure you check back in 6 months or so and see how my pollinator garden is going. Tell us about what you're planting in yours. I would love to hear that. And remember, don't be afraid to get a little bit of dirt under your fingernails and turn that dirt into a delicious dinner.